Rowena Dooley asking Sol citizens to report for duty. Rowena Dooley asking Sol citizens to report for duty.
Hey, what's up? It's Griffin Gaming RPG, and welcome back to another week of Soul Citizens. And I'm here with my good friend, the one and the only, how do you say that word? Inimitable? I don't know if that's how you pronounce the word. Anyway, you know who he is. Fastcart. What's up, buddy?
You can't use big words for me. Just say.
I know. I was trying
Hello,
to.
everybody.
I was trying to find a way to.
I'm fastcart FC.
I was trying to find a way to elevate you. You know what I mean? I couldn't think of the word. Now, see there? You finally got. Listen, you know what? I wish I had some horns to blow off. You finally got me to laugh at something. Let me see. Do I have something that I don't know if I have something I could cheer with? I don't have any good sound effect. I can't use that. It's not that. No, it's not that. I gotta find something to cheer. I need to put a cheer thing in. Thank you. You actually got me to laugh on it. Give me a ramp was good.
You're getting better. Don't, because you use it so infrequently. It's not even worth putting on.
You are getting better. You must be taking comedy courses because you're getting better. You got me to laugh. Anyway, hope
finally, you got. It took on 3 years. 3 years.
It took 3 years. Yeah, it took 3 years. Actually, you've gotten me laugh a couple of times. So anyway, it's good to see everybody here. Thank you guys for joining us today. As always, we appreciate you being here. Fastcart and I are here today by ourselves. We are holding the fort down as we are just a little less than 2 weeks away from CitizenCon. The anticipation is building, and we are looking forward to seeing you there. Those of you who are going to be coming. Fastcart, we haven't really talked about what we're going to do that weekend. I think maybe this is a good time to maybe share with some people. Maybe we should wait till the end because there'll be more people here at the end, right? So maybe we should wait till the end. Okay, we'll wait till the end. But anyway, thank you guys for being here. Let's see. I didn't change our September total, as you can see at the top of the screen. I just noticed I didn't change that, so I need to change it.
Well, it is. No, it's the second week.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to say the first week. Well, you know why? Because you didn't change the scene from last time.
Right, and we had the whole St. Jude thing going on last week. We were juggling so many things. We did not change our subscriber thing. I might do it while we're sitting here talking, guys. When the video's running, maybe I'll change it then. But you guys have put us at our September goal easily. We're going to make sure that we're going to modulate that number a little bit, so it's not like we'll take some of the September number and put it into the October number, because we know some people have given last week and this week. So thank you guys so much for all of your generosity. Today's show is entitled Working at Cloud Imperium. And you might say, how do you guys know what it's like to work at Cloud Imperium? Well, you didn't know that Fastcart and I actually work for Cloud Imperium. No, I'm just kidding. No, we don't work for Cloud Imperium. We have visited, right? You've been there before, right? And I've been there before
in America.
Yeah, I've been there before, and so that doesn't necessarily give us any expertise in sharing about what it means to work there. We could tell you some things, probably a little bit, that's not NDA related. Yeah, I think we could in a little bit, but we'll do that when we get to talking about the different offices that they have. But today, wow, thank you so much for that.
Thank you,
Nomad. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate that. Nomad is one of our team members. Thank you, Nomad. But yeah, this is going to be talking about Cloud Imperium Games. And this is, normally when we're here to talk to you guys about Star Citizen or Squadron 42 or game development, stuff like that. That is not the show this week. So if you're here to hear about the latest with 3.21 or the wormholes or the gates or the stations or whatever, we ain't gonna be talking about that today. What we are going to be talking about is something that, it's funny, FC, you and I have talked about this. We've had conversations with Disco about the formatting of the different shows that CIG has had over the years, right? And maybe you could tell people, we've seen all these different shows from back with Lore Makers and Bug Smashers and Reverse the Verse and all that. But maybe you could share with folks. Vengeful, thank you. Also for 34 months. Thank you. Maybe you could tell people what Disco shared with us about why they have like a short show on Friday and then they've got the SCL on Thursday and then SCL on Friday. What the differences are in those two shows.
I wanted, just back in the day, one was more laid back for the developers, just sit back and talk. The other one is more like a more professional formatted show that people can find out what the developers do at CIG. But both shows are designed, according to Disco, and I don't think I'm revealing anything here, are designed to humanize the developers because, typically when a company does something that players don't like, they receive all these kind of not just bad press, but sometimes the people go so far to certain death press and stuff like that. So Jared wanted to prevent that by humanizing the developers.
Yeah, and I mean it wasn't just because of threats necessarily, but it was just to give a different view inside of a company, right? Because most game companies, he said it, you don't get to know who the people are that are actually working there every day, and so the ISCs are like that more, real nutshell, 10 to 15 minutes of giving you the hottest and the latest. And for those of you who are into and it's nothing that's not substantial, it does have substance, but if you're into the more exciting things like what ship is being worked on or what's the latest project or what's the next feature or mission, that's Thursday. Friday, though, is more about development. And SCL goes for an hour on the average. Sometimes it's SCL Live, sometimes it's Ask the Devs, it's varied. But it's much more in-depth about game development. Now, I always find it interesting. I like watching both shows, especially ISC is easy, right? 12 minutes, 15 minutes, you can knock that out.
Nowadays, yeah.
Right, nowadays, right?
I remember back when it was an hour.
Right. But I'm saying right now, you can watch it and, but SCL, you either got to commit that hour's time or you got to spend some time to come back and forth and watch it. I'm always kind of fascinated that people aren't that interested in the Friday. They're more interested in Thursday, it seems like, than Friday. And I get that to a certain degree. But both shows to me are important. When I watch the Friday show, that also kind of helps me temper my feelings about the development of the game. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but it does. You can't see me in Discord. Oh, I'm sorry, fastcart. You could have just said that.
Wow.
He's being discreet. I know, that's okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I got too many screens
you told
up.
me not to say anything about what's going on.
I know, but I got so many screens up. I got to try to figure out where I hear a beep, and I'm like, where's the beep coming from? Yeah, that Friday show helps me in some ways. It makes things a little easier for me to see where the development is going when I hear it directly from the devs. But for some people, go ahead.
And for some people, it's just a lot to get through. Like sometimes you have to. There are like few nuggets in an hour-long show for them to like, and that's why they like the Numa Fire, for instance, who they digging those nuggets out and tell them in like two or 3 minutes or less. Yeah. So yeah,
that's true. That makes a lot of sense. So anyway, we're going to be talking about a lot of what you hear at the beginning of SCLs. Jared will also often do a welcome and an introduction. But then he usually asks whoever is going to be on the show for that day to say who they are and also tell a little bit about what they do and what their career and position is, and not just what their position is, but what they do at CIG. Wow, New Souls, thank you so much for the sub. Drakazog, as always, thank you also for the sub. We appreciate you.
Man, these people have been around for a long time, 26 and 27 months.
I know. They've been around longer than I have. Boy, they've been around a long time. I'm not sure.
Like it,
I'm not sure I'm always here, you know. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump into this because we've got a lot to show you guys, a lot to talk about. And as you guys know, we're still continuing our fundraising for St. Jude Children's Hospital. Let me say this to you, those of you who are giving. We appreciate the subs. We really, really, really do. And I wish I'd said this earlier, but St. Jude is really on our hearts and minds right now, and we really are still pushing toward our goal. We are at, where are we at, fastcart? 6,000.
750. We're 250 away from 6,000 in our next giveaway.
$250 away from the $6,000 mark goal, where we'll be doing another giveaway. So we really want to ask that you guys would consider putting your direction towards St. Jude. We know we're trying to get to $10,000. We have what's the date? The 8th. So we have 10, 11, 12. We've got 12 days. We've got 12 days, 13 days roughly. Yeah, 13 days, 13 days to make that target. And so Smack a Beer, thank you, Smack a Beer 90 for following. Appreciate that. So we want you guys to really think about, consider, throw that $5, that $4.99, whatever it is you're giving towards subs. If you're giving out bulk subs, throw it towards St. Jude this month. It would really help us reach closer to that goal. Plus, we do some giveaways, which would be great. Even more giveaways. We really, really appreciate that. Okay, so let's get ready to, as they would say, jump into it. Let's see, where are we going, fastcart? We're going here. Make sure to go to the right page and go to the right thing. Okay, Cloud Imperium Games.
I still can't see on
I feel
Discord.
good. There goes Ops Chief. Ops Chief, thank you so much for the sub.
Thank you for the subscription.
Appreciate it. Okay, let's do this first. Some of you may have never been to Cloud Imperium's website. We're going to put the link in there for you. Feel free to take a look at it. If you're not interested in being a developer, not a big deal. But as a backer, there are some things here that you'll be interested in. There's information about the various studios. You can find the financial reports for those of you who are always wondering, what are they doing with all that money? You can go here and see their annual annual financial reports that they publish for the community. They're required to do that. And they put that out at the end of so what should be up now is 2022, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what should be up right now. But let me scroll through here for a little bit for you. This is their website. And it's an attractive site. If you're somebody who's interested in working for them, there's some very cool things here. There are articles, their latest announcement. This one and these are usually major announcements. So this is when Cloud Imperium Group acquires Turbulent. Notice they were called Cloud Imperium Group, which is interesting, fastcart, instead of Cloud Imperium Games.
I mean, they've been saying the name like this is the third time we Cloud Imperium Games, then Cloud
Imperium,
CI, Cloud Imperium, now Cloud Imperium Group.
Yep, and now they're back to Cloud Imperium Games again, from my understanding. I don't know what they're called. I don't know. I've just gotten.
I just say CIG. Yeah. I'm gonna call them CIG, so I'm gonna call them CIG.
Yeah. Now they say here they believe in exceptional talent. You can answer the call. They have offers in the U.S. and the UK and Germany. Their growing team. As you guys can see, there are plenty of jobs here. AI programmers, Cortec programmers, engine programmers, gameplay capture artists, gameplay programmers, global IT director, graphic programmers, junior accounts assistants, animation programmers, junior network programmers, tools, UI, gameplay, network, marketing artist, network programmers, physics programmer, sales operations, and you guys in sales and marketing, there you go. That's in Austin. Senior AI designers, senior animators, more gameplay, more senior graphics programmers, senior Q&A automation tester. There you go. For those of you who want to get in the Q&A, that's one of the entries. It's supposed to, it says senior though, so maybe they want you to have some experience. I don't know. Tools programmers. This is all over. You guys can see on the right here, they outline where all these are. Manchester, Frankfurt, Austin's in here. A little bit of everything.
Thank you for the follow.
Thank you for the follow. Who was that? Didn't
And
say.
Zip Jam.
Zip Zam. There you go, Zip Zam.
And I think at the top you can sort by the different studios.
The different studios.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can subcategories and everything. Yeah. So this is the other information that's out here. Let's see what else is on here on the website. Let's see. This is just news that we talked about earlier. This is the thing I want to focus on the left here. This is the lobby for the new studio in Manchester that you guys know that they moved into. They also moved in just a little bit before that. They did offices over in Frankfurt as well. You guys can go back and watch on this Cloud Imperium website. They have several videos of when they were moving into offices, and you can kind of see the growth of the company over the years from when they were in that little house. It was like a little house garage thing in Austin.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
And it's grown.
And I have to address, I don't have to, but I want to address, like some people say, why are they spending all this money on these decorations? And, you know, like in, what was it, in Los Angeles, they had the RSI door. It's not coming out of, not too much of it coming out of the budget for the game, you know, stuff like that. Sometimes people would donate decorations and stuff like that, but this one's probably built like this, so I don't think it's going to impact the bottom line too much.
No, but anybody who's seen game studios, and I'm sure many of you guys have, game studios are designed to have a certain aesthetic and look to them. It is both for those who are working there and those who are also financing them as well. Building a studio is about building a studio, and you create a certain atmosphere in that studio. Certain things may feel like, well, why are they this, then? You can have waste, mind you. Everybody can have waste. But there's also a proportionate aspect or level of, if you're a AAA company, you can't come in looking like that you're going to Walmart. You really want to make sure that you're like a more high-end Chanel, you know, but without going overboard. You don't want to go overboard. And so you're right, fastcart. Sometimes people will ask that question. I know when I was watching the video when they did the promo for Starfield, they had a beautiful lobby.
And no one complained about their office.
Well, you know, but it's also not back or funder money, right? I mean, that's money that they've earned over the years. So I understand why people may have concerns about wanting to know where their money is going to, so it's not being wasted. But a lot of the stuff that CI did, they did themselves. A lot of the work that they did themselves. And then there's the times you got to spend money if you're a AAA company. It's not a big deal, you know. And the fruits of the labor is there too. So anyway, let's get past that. I just want to kind of give you guys the idea. Take a look at their website if you've never been there before. There is a join us page if you want to know about benefits, what it's like to work there. You know, check it out. Here are all the different studios that they have. They're in LA, in Austin, both of those in the United States, Frankfurt over in Germany, and you've got Montreal Manchester in the UK. And then, of course, Montreal in Canada, which is the newest studio. There were other studios. They've opened up and closed other studios from different points at a time, but these are the ones that they're marketing right now. And again, here are the various disciplines that they have. If you're interested in that as well: animation, art, audio, corporate operations, design, development operations, engineering and programming, marketing, and publishing. A lot of different jobs there, fastcart.
Yep.
Yeah.
All a different job. And none of them I'm qualified for, so that's why I don't work there.
I'm a little envious. I was into computer programming for a while, and I wish that I'd stayed with it. This was a long time ago before it is the thriving industry that it is now. Back then, if you were to go get into computers, it was that you could go fix a Xerox machine later on when you graduated. It wasn't about doing all this major computer stuff. I mean, you could do some computer things, but we could go back to the days of Control Data Institute and DeVry Institute and be like, yeah, we remember those days of going into computers. But anyway, I will not belabor the point on that. Let's jump into it. What's our very first topic we're going to be talking about here? Animation director. Again, what we're going to show you guys are the intros that CIG does with Jarrett, the way he intros and talks, and fastcart and I are just going to give our feedback on it. Of course, you guys can share things in chat. If we see something there, we may talk about it. But we're going to get through these because we are going to watch an episode of SCL that talks about what it really means to work in the studios there. So let's hit this very first one. This is for the animation director.
And can you stream this so I can see it live?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting. I got to hook up fastcart, y'all. Give me 1 second.
It's been one of those weeks, guys.
It's been one of those long weeks. I'm still recuperating.
Thank you.
Is that better? All right, my friend. There you go. All right, here we go.
Every show is somebody's first, and because we haven't had you on the show in a couple years,
I know,
not since
broken
before
heart.
the pandemic. I don't think we ever had you on during the I can't remember. Maybe I've done a lot of these.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep them straight. Tell everybody who you are and what you do for Star Citizen.
Yeah, so you said my name's Steve Bender. I'm the animation director at Cloud Imperium. And I oversee the creation of animation largely for things like the player and for the AI in the game. I also shoot motion capture, direct motion capture. I work with the different designers and design leads in laying out, working to figure out how something's going to work, what animations need to go in there, how they combine, and things like that. So I'm really lucky in that I have myself, I have a great team, a great animation team that works on this project. So it's not me doing it. I'm working with these talented animators.
You say it's not me doing it, but
Yeah.
I have seen you inside the suit with the ping pong balls on more than one occasion.
Well,
sometimes it is.
That is
you
true.
doing it.
Sometimes late at night I get into the suit and sort of dance
No, I know.
around.
I mean for work. Don't.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course. In fact, just last week I was wearing I was wearing the mocap suit
For work.
for work. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Fastcart. Oh boy, I'm losing my voice. Fastcart. Bender's been around for a long time. Do you remember?
Yes, he has, and he I don't want to say clown, but he's funny. I like it when Bender is on, especially when more than one of them gets on with them. They go back and forth. It's always a fun time seeing him.
It is. One of the things I found interesting here is something that Disco's talked about how quite often at Cloud Imperium, people kind of help pick up the slack for other people and do things. Disco's talked about how sometimes he'll see something that needs to be done and he'll kind of go lend a hand to somebody else if he has the expertise to do it. And I was just thinking about Bender saying that, there have been times when he's jumped into the mocap suit, right? And, we don't really think about what that means, but it means that they didn't have to hire an actor to come in to do maybe 5 or 10 minutes worth of work. You know what I'm saying? That, normally they would have, if it's something simple, I'm sure they shoot some mocap and maybe there's just some gesture or something that's needed. The fact that he's even willing to say, you know what, let me just go in here and do this real quick to make sure it gets done, versus now we got to get an agent, we got to book somebody's got to come in just for 3 minutes worth of something. You know what I mean? Because there are some people who would be like, that's not my job.
That's true.
I'm not doing that, But the fact that it seems like his goal is to get the job done. You know what I mean? And it's one of the things I do like about these videos as we watch them is that people who work at the company seem to genuinely like working at the company. Maybe you guys don't know this, but Disco gives a certain period of time before he approaches people about being able to come on this show. And it's not mandatory. They don't say, it's not in their contract that if you work for Cloud Imperium, you've got to do interviews. I think he says he gives them 3 to 6 months to be in a position. And he's talked to all of the lead directors so that the leads know that. And then he goes and talks to the lead, and then he works out something if the person wants to come on, if it's a topic that they're interested in, if the people want to volunteer and speak, they do. But, it is kind of cool that, that it's an open policy and it's not like a mandatory, like these people are being made to come on camera, because that would be pretty disingenuous,
And Disco like to say that they have a probation period just to see if they fit within the company before they go on screen, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's Steve Bender. We're gonna go. That was with the animation director. Let's go to the audio team.
On the show this week, esteemed members of our audio team and Phil. So let's go around the table and introduce us. Tell everybody who you are and what you do for Star Citizen. Phil, we'll go ahead and start with you. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm just Phil. I'm the lead sound designer for the audio team.
Lead sound designer. What does a lead sound designer do?
So I'll take the direction from Darren Lambourne, the audio director, and I'll work with the sound designers, the other audio disciplines in the team, like audio code. We've got Graham here, and we've got dialogue. We've got Bob, and we'll just work together to try and make sure we're hitting our milestones and make sure the creative vision, the technical vision, is kind of achieved in game.
All right, Graham, who are you, and what do you do for Star Citizen?
Hello, I'm Graham Phillipson. I'm lead audio programmer, and it's nice to be at this table again.
Look, I was not hired because I could speak clearly. It's like
Okay. I mean, I certainly wasn't either. So
the hosting parts are the parts that everybody sees, but that's not actually my job. This is the thing that I do on the side stuff. Explain what a programmer how does an audio programmer differ from an audio designer?
So an audio programmer is very much about implementing the vision of the audio designer and attempting to sort of model the real world sound you would expect from certain things, or the fake world sound that you might expect from a very fictional universe.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's all about writing lots of code to support what these guys want to do.
Okay. And last but certainly not least, the man with the greatest hair at CIG. Yeah, I said it, Brian. It's Bob Rizzolo. Bob, who are you? And what do you do for Star Citizen?
Oh, you got me competing against Brian. No, that's bad. Yeah, my name is Bob. I'm the lead dialogue dude. Yeah, I mean, I make the words come alive. You know, it's very similar to what Phil said there. It's the narrative. They have the creative vision, and you know, we get the actors in, and we take it from you know, their performance and make it sound beautiful and get it in the game. And you know, especially with dialogue, it's a huge amount of assets in a lot of you know, especially these you know, narrative driven games, and it's a lot of basically organization and managing a ton amount of assets.
You make the words come alive, and I kill them. I just murdered the words.
Okay. Audio, something that, you know, it's funny, fastcart, in film, when you go to film school, we talk about the fact that audio is 50% of the experience when it comes to a film. And I think in games, would you think it's probably the same thing?
I think they said it on the SEO a couple of times. It's similar for games, and sometimes it can be more depending on, especially depending on the genre of the game. Like say horror or something like you need the audio to really come alive for people to really immerse themselves in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, 50% make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And you know, I can't believe Jared just put him up against Eric, Kyron Davis, and Brian Chambers when it comes to hair.
Yeah, with hair.
That's not a fair fight.
Yeah, he threw it in there and said, I said it, Brian. That is funny. I did like to talk about the fact of the audio designer versus the programmer and talking about the distinctiveness. And I think one of the reasons why we're doing this is that we hear all these titles in these positions, but we don't always know what they do. Like, I mean, obviously, if I hear somebody say they're the lead programmer, I get that they're the lead, they're the person who leads over maybe 2 or 3 or 4 people in a team. But I never really understood, like, what it meant to be junior or this, because, you know, and they say this on SCL, several of the devs will say this, it's different at every company. Different companies kind of label these positions a little bit. They're kind of in general the same, but they could be kind of tweaked to fit whatever that company needs. So where you've got somebody who is the engineer or the programmer, the engineer may be the person who does the recordings and, you know, comes up with the raw sounds or whatever, but then you've got the person who programs it and tweaks it to make it fit within the genre of the game or the story of the game. You know, all these different people have these different roles and they work together, which is kind of cool. That's the other thing I've noticed. A lot of these people work together in teams, you know what I mean? So they're communicating with what it is they're doing. It's pretty interesting. I saw Admiral Kusanagi said it would be interesting if they were to talk about their backgrounds and how they got there. Admiral, some of these they'll talk about what they did previously.
Yeah, especially I think the last couple of they did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They'll talk about what they did previously. Some of them will say, this is my first job in this area. Some people will say, I've worked at these studios. Some of them will say what schools they went to. It just kind of varies. One of the things I can tell you, though, is that when I was doing the research for this, you know, you'll see the names are popping up with their titles. That's because I literally looked up every person that's on here. and found what their official title was and what their name was. But there's also quite a few of them. There's a LinkedIn page. So if you want to be able to go there and see what their educational background is, maybe where they went to go study, that would be a good place to do it. Also, if you go to CitizenCon and you bump into these people, I'm sure you could walk up to them and ask them, hey, I saw you, where'd you go to get to learn to be a so-and-so? And guarantee you they'll be happy to probably tell you, how they got to where they are, in the industry. So, but yeah, that's the audio team. Who we got next, Fastcart, after audio? Who's next?
That is, got me looking at the thing.
Yeah.
You have
the
mod content team.
Modular content team, I think it's
with members of our esteemed modular content team. Let's bring them on here. We've got Joel. Say hi, Joel.
Hi.
We got Cairo.
Hey, everybody.
And Eddie.
Hello.
Eddie, why are you in like 4.3's pan and scan?
I do not know.
It's like watching an old VHS
I do
tape.
not know. I'm pretty sure my webcam's 780p, so I'm not sure why I'm 4:3.
Just reminiscing
No,
over, over better times.
The nostalgia thing.
It's like we rented you from the Blockbuster. We're just watching you on an old school VHS.
Yeah, I need some scan lines and stuff.
So, the modular is it still the modular content? Because I know there's been some reorganization.
We sort of dub ourselves the Sandbox 1 team these days. Because we have multiple sandbox teams. So yes, but we are responsible for the slightly smaller, more modular, and things that get scattered all over the place kind of content, rather than the sort of more bespoke landing zone content. Yeah.
Okay. And your job on the team, what's your title and what do you do, Eddie?
I am senior lead on the team, so I organize things and make sure everyone's happy and try my best to get things out for when we need them out, essentially.
Cairo, this is your first video for Star Citizen, either pre-recorded or live. Welcome to the show. Who are you and what do you do for Star Citizen?
I'm Cairo. I'm an environment artist too. I just joined the team in January and I'm all the way here from South Africa. So yeah, it's been a good time, enjoying it.
And I will say Cairo has been killing it since pretty much day one. So
you started in January, you said?
Yeah, I think I got you New Year's Day, started on the 10th, something like that.
We actually legitimately have a 6-month moratorium period. We usually don't have people on the show in the first 6 months. We try not to scare them away. Basically, it's not official. It's a deal that I have made with all the leads and directors that I won't scare their new hires away in the first 6 months by going that. But so we're skirting that just a little bit. But I appreciate you being here. And then Joel, no stranger to Star Citizen videos, CitizenCon, ISC, SCLs before, but it's somebody's first show. So who are you? What do you do for Star Citizen?
Yeah, I'm Joel. I'm a senior environment artist too on the Sandbox 1 team, and I just do the art and I do level setup and
I just do the art.
With others. Yeah, just do the art.
That's simple.
I mean, slightly downplaying Joel's role there, I would say, but he's a modest guy. What can I say?
All right, so this is a game dev show this week where we're going to showcase some process. Eddie, why don't you tee us up? What are we doing today?
So we're going to have a look at something we've been sort of working on in parallel with the Colonial Outpost, which is ruined versions of the Colonial Outpost. The Colonial Outposts have been around in lore for a long time, in terms of like the age of a lot of the systems that we're looking at, because these are sort of ideally the sort of first explorers into the sort of systems. It's that when we say colonialism, it's the sort of first intrepid explorers, the frontiersmen who've come in. So obviously we wanted to have a look at some sort of smaller ruined versions of these at the same time as looking at the more complete ones that everyone sort of saw in CitizenCon last year. So Joel and Cairo have been sort of forming a little strike team to look at these, and we're going to go through today and build what we'd call a module. So most of these are sort of built as sort of individual modules that then can come there, then sort of combined into sort of locations by sort of use.
Okay, I wanted to stop that there because I wanted to play through there because this is again something that they do together as a team. Did you notice two things, Fastcart? One, the lead producer, what's the word I want to say? Acknowledged or recognized one of his staff members at how well he was working, the newest guy. Did you notice that? He said he's been killing it ever since he came in. Did you notice that?
Not really, but yeah.
Oh boy, you didn't pay attention.
You pointed it out, so yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, there's a reason why I'm focusing in on that. One of the things I've noticed on SCL is that when he's the senior lead for that department, okay? But I've also seen producers, and when they ask producers and senior leads, what do? There's this phrase that many of them always say, which is, I make sure everyone is happy. And so
yeah, I have heard that
you know
before.
What I mean?
Yeah.
So the idea of management extending beyond work, but also work atmosphere and mental health and emotional health of where staff are is just as important. You know, when you're the new guy on the block and you come into a job and you got all these people who've been there for a while, you know what I mean? It's very easy to feel like, you know, I don't want to say insignificant, you know what I mean? But you haven't earned your stripes per se, right? And, you know, here he is seeing his newest guy who's been here a few months, and he says he's been killing it ever since he got here, you know, is a way of encouraging people and letting them also know that somebody's watching you, you know what I mean? Somebody's paying attention to your work, you know, and not just maybe when things aren't going well, but also publicly acknowledging you that you're doing very, you know, encouraging you. So that idea of producers and leads always tagging on this idea of, and the other thing they say is making sure everybody has what they need. You know, and I've always kind of listened to that whenever they say that. And it's like this idea of people who are working there, who have these different projects, maybe they're working on something and they can't move forward, right? Because maybe something's delayed in another department. You know, that producer's job is to go and say, hey, you know, I'm finished with this, but, you know, I'd like to finish it, but blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe that producer now reaches over to the producer or lead in another department and says, hey, when can this person expect it? You know what I'm saying? They're trying to cultivate a good community that works there, you know, at their job.
And I just want to say, everyone in chat, I appreciate it. If you just type in chat, Griff, you're killing it. Thank you.
Yeah, but what do you think about that as far as mental health and, you know, or a job site?
I mean, especially in this industry, like the game development industry, that's a good thing to have, because you hear about all these horror stories, and I'm not going to name names, but you know, other studios who have like these horror stories that people not paying attention to mental health, just being toxic and poisonous to people. Yeah. I think this is a good industry, a good company to work for if they pay attention to that. Yeah. There are studios, and like you said, we won't name studios, but just over the last few years, we heard about studios. Some of the studios were studios that had game development tied to them, and the workers there were pressured. They're already under pressure, right, to develop produce a product that's at a certain quality level. Maybe they're very passionate about the project too, so maybe some of the pressure they have is self-induced. There's the pressure of the industry. There's the pressure of, you know, for some people, jobs are only for a period of time. They're not permanently there. You're contracted to work for a company. If you're doing art and concept art for a company, you may only be there for the first third or 50% of the project. Maybe after a certain point, they don't need you as a concept artist anymore. Or maybe you're trying to get a permanent gig there, right? You get contracted, right, Fastcart? And, you know, you're hoping that you impress the people. So there's additional pressure of delivering something. But we have heard these stories of, particularly in the game industry, like Fastcart said, where they're working crazy hours, you know, I mean, 12, 14-hour days, back to back, being pushed to get a project Saturday and Sunday.
Weekends. And it's not a great thing, probably, especially if you're coming in on the low end of it. You know, if you're a senior person, you know, got some rank or some time.
Like you always hear that story about the mail boy, right?
No,
coming in at the bottom.
Oh, well, tell people what that is, because, you know, people.
Oh, like, you know, especially like if you work in a law firm or some kind of accounting firm or something like that. Sometimes you have intern, or sometimes you have like you starting at the very bottom of the rung, which is like working at the not the post office, but the mail office, or sorting mail and stuff like that. And then you try to work your way up. They're trying to test you to see if you have the professionalism or you know, what it takes to move up before they try to put you something. I don't want to say more important, but you know,
well,
give you more responsibility.
Well, to your point, back in the day, y'all, fastcart went back in the clock. That's why I had to tell him to explain to y'all, because they don't have no mail boy rooms anymore.
Oh, my bad.
It's okay. Basically, what mail room was, for those of you who don't know, is that was an entry-level job. You might work for a company, and that was the way that you would come work. It might have been a law firm, it could be a bank, whatever it was. But your basic deal was to come in, sort the mail, and then distribute it to different people throughout the office. And quite often, there have been plenty of stories of people who started out as in the mail room, what they call a mail clerk, and 30 years later, 20 years later, they're the CEO of the company. That was a way of coming into a company. Nowadays, we have people who come in at entry level, right? You come into a grade 1 job, or you come in as a junior or something. Quite often, it's at CIG. You hear people say, "I'm a junior artist." They come in. Or they may be as artist 1. I don't know which one is over which. I was talking to my friend Vaverick trying to figure out. He says it's different at different companies. But like Fastcart said, you know, there's this coming in, and there's a lot of pressure on you to kind of come in and deliver. So that's why I said I think it's important that we see that these leads do pump. You know, they encourage their people, which is good. You know, especially like during the pandemic. You know, could you imagine people are trying to transition into their homes and working from home, and now I got to be able to deliver. I don't have the same level of communication I had before, or access. You know, the producer's jobs probably really stepped up at that point, trying to basically be the glue, you know what I mean, that keeps the departments together.
And there was a question in chat asking about why does it look like some of these cameras or videos are from people's home. Some of these were filmed during the pandemic, so that's probably why you had a different look. Not all of these will be in the office or in the only constant or something like that.
Yeah, we tried to get the more recent videos, guys, over the last year or two. So if you see this, like Fastcart said, this was probably right around toward the end of the pandemic. So just kind of be aware, because in matter of fact, I can tell you, because this is when Disco moved over to the UK, because that's not his LA apartment he's in. So that's when all that was going on. Okay. All right. Good question though. All right. Who's next? We got props and art.
The props.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Here we go.
On this week's show, which is one of our game dev specials, where we like make something for an hour. I really like these shows. We've got props artist 3. Senior props artist 1. Senior props artist 1 better than props artist 3?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how the farm system works in the props league. But
Need for a wee.
Senior props artist, what's your name?
Lewis.
Lewis? Who's going to be making something for us for the next hour. Go to this camera and say hi, Lewis.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I can't do this. This is your job. I can't. Give me some tips.
Just tell everybody who you are and what you do for Star Citizen.
So I'm Lewis. I'm a senior props artist, and yeah, I make props. So you might have seen Alberto last week doing concept. I do production props. So it's where we take concept or we just make stuff up, and we make the actual props that go into the game. So that's what I do. Good enough.
Okay.
Tier 1 versus tier 3. You learned something there.
Yeah, well, you know, that's why I said Disco said I don't even know which one is over which, right? I mean, he actually did say that, you know, which is interesting. That's a gig I would love to do. Something like props. I mean, that's kind of one of those ones that forces some imagination, because obviously there's those props that we're familiar with. Like if you, like, let's say somebody told you to come up with assets for a moon, right? You know, you could come up with, you know, solar arrays and antennas and fuel tanks and things like that. But then there's also those other things that really force you to create, like, what does a solar array look like 900 years from now? You know what I mean? Does it look the same? So, I mean, the challenge of being able to have a job like that, I would think would be very, very cool. I would really get into doing props. That would be something I'd be into a lot. You got any thoughts about that with props and art?
It seems like it'd be a fun job to do. It's not something that I'll probably excel at, but yeah. So it's in regard to the game, like you're talking about digital props rather than physical props. I'm guessing, right? Because it's not all, everything can be in performance capture or motion capture. So yeah.
I mean, and I'm sure, like, I'm thinking about, like, we saw some episodes where they had laid out like all these different assets, you know, for you to see. You know, they did like I don't know if you remember this. This is when they show like all the different type of plants and stuff. Remember that when they were first talking about the road to Pyro? You know, I'm just saying, just being able to come up with all that. We saw the little grain bags and, you know, even the things like the artifacts, right? The Banu, you know, artifacts and stuff like that. You know, to me, those are really cool things that you could. I would love to just have the, you know, as long as you give me the narrative, you know what I'm saying? Like you say, I need a Banu something, you know what I mean? The idea of being able to create that to me would be really kind of a cool gig, you know? But yeah, that's props and art for those of you guys who are on the artistic side of things. You guys can look into that. Okay. Let's see. What do we got next? We've got
QA.
Oh, QA. Yeah. Quality assurance. Yeah. Quality assurance. Let's, not question and answer, y'all.
No, I was going to say that, Griff. I was going to say that. You beat me to it. Go ahead.
Quality assurance. Let's take a look at this one.
On today's show, we are jumping into an often misunderstood, often misrepresented aspect of game development, quality assurance. So before we get started, let's take a few minutes and get to know who our players are. We will start with someone who probably needs no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. She is the Verse's very first original jump point pilot. You might remember her from the CitizenCon 2949 demo. Let's give a big round of applause for Samantha Haley.
Thank you, guys. It's really nice to see everybody again virtually. Yes, so I'm here representing QA today. And through QA, I got to do something really amazing at that CitizenCon, get to fly the Carrack and in front of everybody. And it was such a wonderful experience to get to do that. So it's great to be back and to kind of engage with the community a bit more again.
Now, what is it that you actually do for Star Citizen?
So in terms of my actual job, other than, you know, flying the Carrack sometimes, I am the lead of the QA resource team. And basically what that means is I deal with everything in terms of training up our new hires, including our experienced staff as well. I go through training with those guys too. We deal with all kinds of guides and information and making sure that everybody is, you know, at the tip top of their craft for QA, basically.
All right. Now, joining us on the show, we have several members of the QA team. Now, you guys are all from the UK studio, am I not mistaken? All right, so we have members from our UK studio here. Let's start with new and improved George. George, who are you and what do you do for Star Citizen?
So hello everyone, I'm George H. I am currently the QA embedded on the network team. I've been with Cloud now for probably about a year. Worked in a few departments in QA, so I've kind of got like a varied experience in different departments. I was the senior for Sam a while back and then moved on to the embedded team, or the embedded network team, probably around about a month ago. So I am, you know, here to help the network do the networky things, basically.
So all the 30Ks are your fault.
Exactly. Exactly that, basically. Yeah.
Harsh. Moving on to Jack. Jack, who are you and what do you do for Star Citizen?
I'm Jack. So I've been dragged along by my good friend Sam to talk a little bit about the QA I do. I'm part of the core team on QA, so our kind of bread and butter is we sort of look at the core gameplay loops. So making
got the name wrong there, guys.
Player
Sorry.
works, making sure that when you load in the game, new babbage is still there, and we haven't accidentally deleted it. And the missions, that sort of stuff, really, all the basics.
All right. And last but certainly not least, an old hand here at Star Citizen. This gentleman, I got to give him crap for this. He was here at CIG around the same time I started, and then he got out, and then recently he came back. George, George Zero, George Original. Who are you and what do you do for Star Citizen?
Well, I'm George S. I'm a new QA tester on the gameplay team, so testing new gameplay features as they're coming in. I've just come out of Sam's amazing training as well a week ago, so just had my first week back in the real world of QA, which is interesting to see how things have developed and changed. Obviously, before 3 years ago, almost to the day, I was in QA, and before that, I was in player relations. So some of you may recognize the name from there as well.
Yeah, I think I'm still waiting for you to answer one of my tickets, actually.
I'm going to stop here real quick. For those of you who are interested in getting into companies like this, we've heard CIG and other companies have said this, that one of the best entryways to come in is to do Q&A. If you notice, Samantha trains them. So sure, you can have some experience, but there's also the aspect of that they will train people that come into QA. And quite often people that are in QA will maybe possibly work in other areas of a game development company. So if you are seriously thinking about wanting to do something like this, or maybe you do have some background in coding and whatnot, maybe you don't, but this is a means. I'm stopping it here because they're going to start going into what QA people do. And I think there's going to be a good conversation we're going to have fastcart about.
Before you jump into that, I just want to say I remember people cheering Sam on when she was firing the code, and so it was nice to see her getting knowledge for that. She did a great job doing it, the citizen computation.
Yep. So when we get to the part about the QA thing, I want to talk about that a little bit in relation to QA backers and Evocati. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep going with this.
Probably.
All right, so on today's show, we're doing things a little different. Like, now on Star Citizen Live, we usually have designers, artists, engineers, stuff like this. As we spoke of at the beginning of last week's Inside Star Citizen, because we are in our Q3 of the year, and because that's the CitizenCon into IAE corridor, everybody is heads down working on their presentations and stuff for that stuff. It gives us the opportunity to stretch our proverbial and metaphysical legs a little bit and explore aspects of Star Citizen's development that maybe we otherwise wouldn't throughout the rest of the year. So just like on ISC, where we took the opportunity to delve into the production life of Steph Bedford, and we're going to jump into some other lives here in the coming weeks there, I wanted to take this opportunity to jump behind the scenes into an aspect of game development that's near and dear to my heart, which is quality assurance. Many of our finest folks get their careers, start their careers rather, in quality assurance. It's a terrific way to learn almost every aspect of game development, because there's very little that goes into Star Citizen or any video game that quality assurance does not touch in some way, shape, or form. Names you might recognize, like Ricky Jelly, got their start in QA. Phil from our audio team got a start in QA. Tyler Witkin, our director of community, got a start in QA. And I'm not going to go and list the list, but it is a terrific place to learn the industry, to learn almost every aspect of game development. So with that, I want to turn things over to Sam here for a little while. Sam, you are the resource lead. Yeah, it is your job to train these people up and make sure that they can jump into what is a very dense and very thick game with a lot of tribal knowledge. Where do we start with this process?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, when it comes to Star Citizen, it is absolutely massive. And when, you're looking for people to hire, you obviously want to try and take on people who have a little bit of QA knowledge to begin with. But recently we have been reaching out beyond people who have maybe that games experience already, into people who have, a passion for the project. For example, quite a few of our new starters did actually start off as players of Star Citizen. For example, I know George plays Star Citizen as well, George Stabler, that is. So he started off from that. And it's just really kind of inspiring to take people through that process of knowing nothing about games to kind of warming them up, I guess, and getting them out of the myths and the kind of preconceptions they might have around QA, to the point where, they're fully ready to get into the job and test our massive kind of universe, basically. So, yeah, when it comes to those kinds of, I guess, myths and stuff, a lot of the people who, like I say, don't have that games background may kind of have some conceptions about QA testers and what they do and that kind of thing. So I guess we'll kind of touch on some of those points.
Sure,
so for starters, yeah.
So let's start with the biggest myth buster in the world. QA just plays the game.
I mean, I would love to get paid to just play the game. That would be absolutely wonderful. But sadly, it's not maybe quite as appealing as that. I mean, there's the video that goes around in the game circles where there's the girl who comes in and kind of says, "Hey guys, are you done testing that game? I need another one designed." And they go, "Yeah, just tighten up the graphics on level 3. Man, I can't believe they pay us to play games." And I guess that is kind of the opinion that a lot of people get because of that. But yes, when it comes to actual QA, I think it's more to do with being kind of like an information broker for a developer and just kind of making sure we know exactly everything about the game, keeping a pulse on it as it goes from the beginning. For example, Jack starts off with the most broken kind of new interesting stuff on the core team. Yep. Those guys deal with all of that kind of thing. And then as it goes on to the more finalized product, you might see it through, George would kind of see that through to the released product, basically. So as well as getting to play the game, which we do repetitively, but we do get to play the game, we kind of are making sure we're providing good detail to the developers on how to reproduce bugs, debug information for anything that comes up, prioritizing certain checks. For example, if new features are coming in, we need to make sure that we are rinsing those and maybe deprioritizing some of the older stuff. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit more about the QA role. Do any of you guys have any points on just playing the game? What kind of things you do outside of
take
that?
us through take us through a typical day, if there is such a thing as a typical day. Describe the daily routine here.
Do you want to? One of you guys want to take that one?
I mean, yeah. Oh,
no, go.
Oh, okay, I've landed on this one. So, like Sam said, I work on the core team, which is kind of like we check like the core mechanics of the game to make sure that when all the new and exciting stuff comes in, we haven't accidentally introduced a new variable that like completely ruins the game somehow. So I'm kind of there on the front lines almost of just making sure that the game in its base form is still playable. So in core team, we usually sort of have like a series of checks and we'll like cycle through them. So we'll spend a couple of weeks making sure the player's working. Then we'll spend a couple of weeks making sure that all the different landing zones like Orison, New Babbage, Area 18, they're all still working properly. We might check missions and we'll kind of go through all of those. And once we've finished, we just kind of loop back around to the start and start again. So a usual day for QA is I'll come in, the rest of my team have usually already started because I enjoy a lie-in, and we'll sort of spin up our own sort of like microcosm, a little tiny server that we just test with the 6 or 7 people we've got. And we have a big long list of hundreds and hundreds of checks that are all individually very basic. So it might be like you go into Port Olisar and it's like, are all the textures correct? Is the atmosphere correct? And we'll just kind of systematically go through all those checks for whatever section of the game we're looking at for that week. And anything that's not wrong, we'll sit down, write it out, and then pass that information up to the developers. And then it's kind of their job from there to sort of fix it.
I want to follow up there. You say with the 6 or 7 people, that's not the sum total of everybody in the QA team.
No,
that's your strike team that's been assigned to.
Very specifically 7, 8 people on my team, just looking at the core features of the game. There's lots of different teams. of people looking at other areas of the game.
Yeah, and it's often important to have multiple people because because over the course of days, weeks, months, you're looking at these same assets, these same locations over and over again, and it's very easy to get. I don't know if there's probably a word for it, but just not colorblind, but just snowblind, I guess. You've looked at the same thing so many times that even if something's drastically different this time, it's not always incredibly apparent because you just you start to see the previous versions every time you look at something.
Okay, FC, any thoughts about Q&A and what they do for a living?
It's not something I could do day in and day out because, like they said, they don't actually play the game. People actually had a misconception. I think they mentioned that Q&A is nothing but playing the game, having fun. But no, it's a lot of work and it's a lot of tedious because they go in and say, oh, we need this to be tested. And so you need to pick up this and make sure that the animation looks right or what have you. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I picked up on doing it just now is like, they acknowledge that working at CIG has a lot of tribal knowledge. Mm-hmm. That means something that you only pick up at CIG as opposed to something globally or industry-wide. So I thought that was interesting.
Right. Before I give my comments, we're at $5,900. You guys have already elevated us up from $5,750 to $5,900. We're just $100 short of our $6,000 milestone, which means we'll be giving away a Suntucky Eye and a Saber Comment to one individual. So if you guys continue to give, we're going to cross that line. I know we're going to do it before the night's over with. Really appreciate everything that you've done. Anonymous giver, thank you for donating and pushing those numbers up for us. And those of you who've given, thank you guys so much. FC, again, here's a person who's over that, Samantha's evidently overseeing these folk. And she talks about the training. One guy said, I just finished my training last week with her. And he used to be in QA. And he says, now there's all this new updated stuff. And then the guy, Jack, who I put the wrong name down for. CIG, please forgive me if I got somebody's name wrong. I tried to do my homework on this, my due diligence.
Yeah, nothing on purpose, on purpose.
Yeah, but Jack was really interesting because he says he works with the core of the program, right? The basics, the things that are there all the time. And the fact that he has to go back in every so often, he has this checklist. He's like 200 items of things that he goes to check just to make sure that none of the old stuff has been messed with when something new gets introduced into the game. So imagine, you got to walk through and check all the doors and pick up all the med pins. That's all you're doing. It's just making sure that stuff still works.
You don't have to check out all the doors. You check one door. Yeah.
True, but I'm just saying, he's spending 2 weeks. Right. I'm saying he has to go to Port Olisar. I'm just saying he needs to just sample and make sure things are right. And then he says,
imagine doing that for every patch that comes out during PTU or even before PTU. You got to check. You got to make that checklist to make sure stuff comes out. Yep. And so what happens when something doesn't make the checklist? Do they not put it out, or you say, "Oh, it's still workable. Just go ahead and push it to the PTU." I don't know.
Well, I'm sure he's the guy, like for example, elevators, right? Or the trams. Something that's been in the game for a while that. All of a sudden when a patch comes out, this thing has been working for the last whatever, all of a sudden it's not working again, right? It's not like, and then they say once it goes from him, it goes to somebody else, right? When it's more polished, somebody else looks at the other stuff. But I'm just saying, like you said, to do that every day, all the time.
Yeah, that's not something I'd be the mental stamina for myself. I don't know about you.
Yeah. Now, I want to share that because whenever the conversation comes up about backers, I've heard backers, and I've heard backers say this, and I guess I get it, but I've actually heard backers say, I didn't get into this to test the game, I got in it to play the game, right?
Well, you didn't read the TOS, not TOS, the acknowledgement when you clicked OK, did you?
Yeah. Well, there's no thing that says you have to test it, right?
There's nothing you have to, but you basically are.
Right. But the thing is that when you're playing the game, you are testing the game, right? Even if you're not putting in tickets or whatever, you're giving them data and information that they can use. I think where the ball does get dropped is when you're playing the game, and if something goes wrong, when you don't make the effort to put in a ticket, right? To go to the issue council, even to verify something, just to say, hey, I was playing the game. Sometimes all you gotta do is just go in there and search and see. And if you search it and see it's there, all you got to do is just say, yeah, I've had the same problem, right? It gets the thing moved up on the list of things priority wise. I know it's a pain in the butt. I know it takes extra work. It takes a little something to do it, but if we all contributed as backers, it also will help things get more prioritized and hopefully maybe even get some things done a little quicker. Now, the people who are in between the backers and the devs are Evocati, who are doing a form of QA. I mean, even the backers are doing a form of quality assurance, but quality assurance is so that something can be launched to someone else. So when Evocati gets it, and if you've ever talked to anybody in Evocati, they'll tell you that quite often they get the same broken game. They get something that isn't working, or they'll tell them like something may come out in the game and they'll say, everybody go to Port Olisar and start there, right? Everybody, don't be spawning at Marcorp and yeah, we know there's a new thing over here, but you're not.
You got to say Seraphim
today.
now, Griffin.
Yeah, well, Seraphim, right? That's true, Seraphim. Maybe that's all they do. Sometimes they tell them everybody get into your, this ship, or get, or go to Kasaba and buy. We talked about this before, right? Go buy shirts until we stop telling you to stop buying shirts. It's not about playing the game, So I think it's kind of an interesting job because it gives you a different insight, And she said that we do get times where we get to play the game. She said, but that misnomer of people thinking that QA people are just sitting around flying the game and playing it, and that's how they're QAing. And not to mention, they have to record the data a certain way so that the devs and the engineers know what's wrong. They take our little bit of information that we put into a ticket, and then they have to elaborate on that, and focus it even more. So I can imagine it's a lot of work, to do that. And the other thing I want to mention too is that they said that this is only people on the screen now are just in the UK studio, which implies that, each studio may have its own QA team. I think they set up to 8 people that are a part of this particular team, so we can maybe work with the assumption that maybe that's about like how many people are at each one of the studios, working QA, I don't know, but it's interesting. It's an interesting gig. Okay. Where are we at? We are still at $5,900. We're going to take in one more fast card because our time is we're past the time I said I wanted to be. So let's go jump down to community team. Okay.
Okay.
And we'll do that one. All right, here we go.
Rainer, tell us a bit about.
Nope, that's not the community team.
What a first show to start with. Today on the show, we have our esteemed community team. Hey! It's been a long time since we've had the community team on. We've got people with such cool online handles as Xylo, Galactica, Chris,
hey,
Jake Acapella.
I think you were supposed to say hello when he said your name.
Obviously,
hello.
No. So yeah. So it has been some time since we've had the community team on the show. With International Bar Citizen Weekend upon us this week, we thought this is a wonderful time to bring them on back. For many folks who have joined since we were talking about this in the pre-show. I think the last time anybody's seen anybody's face was CitizenCon 2949 in 2019. It is right. It's 930 years. Yeah. All right. So, we've gained all kinds of new citizens since then through Invictus and IAE and just all the patches and all the things that have come to Star Citizen. So let's get these folks back out in front of you and let's meet some of them, many for the first time. So we are going to start with Chris. Chris, yeah. Tell everybody who you are and what you do for Star Citizen.
Okay, hi, I'm Chris. I'm a community manager here at Cloud Imperium Games. I started here at CIG in October 2017, and it's actually my first job in the gaming industry, although I worked in public relations and education before that. And actually, I started a bit earlier, but not on official terms, because I helped out as a volunteer 1 year earlier at Gamescom, where we met the first time in real life. And I backed the game back in March 2013, so pretty early. And yeah, since then I'm joining and following and playing Star Citizen each and every day.
If I can share, when I flew to Frankfurt for that Gamescom, Christian was not an employee at CIG, but when he came into the studio, everyone in the office was like, "Hey, Chris, hey, Christian," and as if he had been working there for years. I think that was the moment when it was clear to everyone, we should probably let this guy actually work here since he seemingly does already.
Yeah, I felt a bit adopted to the family.
I remember being in the booth at Gamescom the first year he was the volunteer and everything, and there are helpful people, and then there are helpful people, and Christian is the second one. And it was at some point it was like, I'm running out of things for you to do, and then he'd go and he'd find somebody else to help, and it was just it's that kind of go-getter stuff. It's been a while since we've done a live event, but those volunteers are absolutely crucial to putting together any Gamescom, any CitizenCon, any PAX event. So when someday we will be back to doing that stuff. All right, let's see what Jake. I pointed that way. And
Hello.
Who are you? What do you do?
Hi, I'm Jake. I'm also a community manager out of the Austin studio, and I do all sorts of things here at CIG. But everybody probably knows by now I'm the curator of the public roadmap. I started here November 2020, in the middle of the pandemic. So it's been an interesting tenure at CIG so far, for sure. But before that, kind of what got me into Star Citizen is I was a content creator for a long time over at the artist formerly known as the Imperial News Network. They're now called Relay.sc. And been doing that since 2015, and then I hopped on board a couple years ago. It's been almost 2 years now.
And if we're talking about fun stories of the times before you were hired in, many folks assume these days that I'm a community manager. My term started here as a community manager, but in 2017, 18, somewhere around there, I moved into the world of global video production. But way back in, was it 2016? We actually talked to you about becoming a community manager for Star Citizen back in 2016. And curiously enough, we didn't go with you. We thought better of it, and we went with Tyler. We actually brought Tyler onto the community management team instead of you back in 2016.
And then he hired me 5 years later.
I remember that message. I remember that message from Tyler. Like, he was like, "Hey, I'm bringing Jake Acapella," and I was just like, "All right, well that's the wheel coming back around."
Full circle.
Yeah. I then sent him my notes from your interview about why we didn't hire you, but it was too late. It was too late.
It's too late. That's fine. It was a mistake, to be honest.
Wait, before you do it, I do want to say one thing is that when Jake joined CIG, his title was Junior Data Specialist, and he was going to be focused on the back end of the roadmap. And I think Jake, you were one of the quickest promoted people ever, because it was like a matter of months, and then you moved into community management. I think it was super obvious to everybody that you could handle a lot more.
Everybody.
Minus Jared.
Minus Jared.
Who cares about that guy's opinion, right?
All right. Back to the realm of people who stuck with their cool nicknames and didn't give in to peer pressure. Galactica, tell us who you are and what you do for Star Citizen.
Hi. So I just want to say that Jake Acapella has been renamed to Roadmap Guy via chat. But hi, everybody. I am Galactica, and I think I'm the newest person in the community team, although I started back in November. I am our social media manager. I work out of the Austin office. Some of you guys in chat probably previously know me from being the social media manager for World of Warships. And yeah, that is basically me in a nutshell. So all the stuff that you see on our social media channels, such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, we actually just started a TikTok account recently, as a lot of the stuff that I manage, but I also support our community team, and they also support me with doing stuff on social. So yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
No, this is you in a nutshell.
I got that reference.
Yeah. I was going to do it earlier, but I wasn't on the camera, so it would have been wasted effort. Ulf. The man with only one name. Like Madonna. Ulf. Who are you and what do you do for Star Citizen?
Just like Madonna. Yep.
Just like Madonna. Just like Madonna. There's really, you've never seen Ulf and Madonna in the same place. The same
That is true. And I could now start singing Material Girl, but I won't, actually. I could actually play it, or maybe Tyler and I could play it on the flute. I don't know.
The
maybe
chat is going to put the pressure on.
Maybe, should we? Should we not? No, we're not doing it.
We'll save it. We should charge for that if we're going to play together.
Gotcha. Okay. So, hi everyone. My name is Ulf. I'm the lead community manager working out of the Frankfurt studio in Germany. I'm with the company since 2016, which is weird because it sounds like a lot of people got hired back in 2016, right? I joined the company a week before Gamescom, and a lot has changed since then. I still remember the first week. It was, the Alpha 3.0 demo that we had at the Gamescom booth, and Jared, you had a magnificent beard back then. Totally remember that. No. You did. And yeah, like everyone, I remember everyone being like super stunned by the fact that you could actually set your foot on a planet in game with that Gamescom demo. So that was like one of the moments here at Cloud Imperium Games. And yeah, basically since then, as I started as a community manager and got promoted a couple of times, I'm now the lead community manager. Trying to help the team removing any blockers. Also trying to organize and distribute tasks using the different tools that we have, and also taking on communication tasks. Since a while now, planning the comms plans and executing them as well. That's me.
Because I moved into video right around the same time as you moved in the community team. I don't have a whole lot of exposure with Ulf, a lot of crossover, but when I do, it's always the same. It's basically me looking into a little tiny monitor live at Gamescom or CitizenCon, and him just like this. Waiting to go live, like when I picture Ulf, like if I close my eyes, it's just this picture of him like just ready to go, in CitizenCon. That's how I will always see you. And again, we've said it a couple of times, but I'm very much looking forward to the day when we can get back to that, and I can throw it back to Chris, and I can throw it back to oh, your name Madonna now. Throw it back to Madonna, and maybe throw it to Roadmap Guy at some point and stuff like that. So,
Roadmap Guy.
And then last and least, Xylo. Who are you, and what do you do?
Hi everyone.
For Star Citizen?
I go by Xylo. My real name is Tyler Whitkin. I have been with Cloud Imperium Games for almost 8 years. I was hired in 2014. It was right before 1.0 released, so there was no flying. It was just the hangar. And I am the director of community, so I oversee our community team, social media, PR efforts, communication efforts, all that jazz. And yeah, super stoked to be back on here and get to introduce you all to all the brilliant people behind the scenes making awesome stuff all the time.
And we met at PAX South?
Yeah, early 2014.
Yeah, God, no, 2015.
Was it 2015?
2015, because you were working there and I was still a contractor at the time. So I was just contracted doing graphics for ATV and stuff like that.
I was going to say, I remember you were at PAX South because you were helping and you weren't an employee, but I had so many people in the community tell me, hey, there's a guy named Disco Lando there. He's a content creator. He's awesome. You should find him and take a picture with him. And you didn't even work at CIG at the time. And I did. I found you and was like, hey, everybody tells me I should know you.
It is exactly what you said. And I was like, oh, okay. I went back to
yeah, that was many years ago. You didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was a contractor, but I was not a formal employee. It's like when HR gives me when we do the reviews at the end of the year and stuff, HR doesn't count that time as employment because I was working as a contractor.
Well, I count it. I count it.
What a
All right. Expat Brad, thank you so much for the raid. We had you listed to raid you tonight, so you beat us to it.
Yeah, right. Thanks for the raid.
Thank
Welcome,
you so
raiders.
much. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. We're the Soul Citizens.
Clark McGraw, thank you for the follow.
Yes, thank you for the follows. We are talking about what it means to work at CIG, Cloud Imperium, and we just got finished looking at the community managers of the community team. Some of these people are people we're familiar with, right? Fastcart, we've met several of these people, in fact, right?
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, I think I've only not met one of them, but yeah, most of them we have met.
Who have you
thank
met?
you for the subscription. Someone gave us 20 subscriptions.
Oh my
just
God!
now.
Thank you guys so much. Oh God, we got to hear James
Anonymous.
Brown. We got to hear James Brown 20 times. Thank you, Anonymous. Oh my God, thank you so much.
But we do want to say we are doing a fundraiser for St. Jude. So while we do appreciate the subscription, we much rather people try to give to St. Jude for the time being. But we do appreciate the subscription. Thank you.
We truly do. We truly do.
Matter of fact, we are $100 away from our $6,000 milestone, but we're doing another giveaway. So.
Thank you all so much. Expat, hope you had a good stream. If you guys have not checked out Expat Brat, make sure that you follow, go check. Beautiful work. I mean, the imagination that goes on there, got her cameras all set up, and just does this great role play through the Star Citizen universe. If you've never, ever watched, check it out. There's the link at the top. You guys, trust me, you will enjoy it. It's very entertaining and educational of the cool things that you can start doing in Star Citizen, especially if you're going to use the camera, in-game camera. Very cool. So Fastcart, I was asking you about the community managers. Who have you not met on that list?
Him.
Oh, really?
Him.
Chris?
He's the only one I haven't
Chris
met.
is the only one you haven't met. Okay, Chris is the only one I haven't met as well. Chris is the only one I haven't met. Back in the earlier days of CitizenCon, you guys might remember seeing Ulf. Ulf would often be the person like the roaming reporter that would be standing there with the mic and interviewing people at CitizenCon, particularly when they were over in Germany and the UK. Tyler, most of you guys know Tyler Witkins, Xylo. There was also something else I noticed here. Did you notice how Tyler, once again, as the lead over this section, lifted up Jake? Did you notice that?
Yes, and he did. I did notice that this time.
Yeah, and Galactica did too. You know, just the fact that there's this thing of that new person.
He's a
who
roadmap
comes on
guy
board.
now.
Yeah,
they are the roadmap guy now.
Yeah, but you know, he also talked about Jake's history. You know, with being both a content creator and the relationship that had been there, and to see him evolve from, you know, back in the early 2013, 14, 15 when he was doing INN to now being an employee, you know, at CIG, which is really nice. Hopefully James Brown's going to wrap up. I feel bad talking over.
I think we got a few more. We'll see.
Do we? Okay, I think that might have been it. Oh, okay, you're right.
I told you.
Okay. Again, thank you, Expat. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
So, I was going to say something else. Okay, I got to meet Galactica last year when they were doing the international global touring for Bar Citizens. Galactica came to Chicago, and I got a chance to meet her. Very sweet, very nice person. Jake, I've met Jake before, previously at both Citizen Cons, before he was with CIG, and also now that Jake is a community manager, Jake was also with Galactica when they came to Chicago. So Jake's a wonderful person, very down to earth. And what's really cool about Jake Fastcart is Jake was and is a backer, right, of Star Citizen. Right.
And not only that, like they said, Jake with INN didn't relay. Well, and they still do stuff at relay occasionally on Tuesday. Well, they used to. I think they stopped doing that. But now Jake does his own thing on stream.
I just saw that the other day. Yeah, Jake was streaming the other day. Yeah, absolutely. But Jake will do visits to relay from time to time, like you said. We'll just kind of drop in, which is kind of cool, right? And Jake,
before thank you for the $20 to the fundraiser. Thank you, appreciate it. We're $80 away from 6,000.
Yes, we are almost there, gang. $6,000. We're going to do that 2-ship giveaway tonight. Let's see who else we're going to talk about. Xylo, we've known Xylo for a long time. Xylo's been just a very cool person. We've met Xylo at CitizenCon, VerseCon, whatever other con you want to call it. Xylo's dropped in on our bar Citizens. He's been really, really cool person. Skipping Disco, because we can talk about Disco. Ulf, you and I got a chance to talk to Ulf just recently. Ulf is also going to be the coordinator for the convention this year, and is kind of pulling all the strings together for what's going on with that. And fastcart and I got to sit on for about an hour and do a conference call. And he's a really sweet guy, really, really nice, very accommodating. And what I really like about all these people is that they're all very sensitive to the community. It's a tough job. Being that bridge between the company, fastcart, and the community. You think you could do it?
Not for long. I probably do real well at the beginning and then fall off out there. But yeah, not for long. There's a lot of people you got to deal with day in, day out.
Well, you even if you're having good days and bad days, you're kind of representing the face of the company, right? Right. And that's the tough part, right? I mean, sometimes people don't know that you're human and you can have a bad day too. But I have yet to see them lose it, for lack of a better term. Which is interesting because they're human, right? They've got feelings and emotions like anybody else, but they're always very uplifting and very positive. And we've even talked about how both Disco and Xylo have impacted us with our attitude toward community. That no matter what people say and how they feel about the game, everybody's passionate and wants to play this game. And maybe just the way they say it or the way it comes out may not be the way we think is the best way, but the reality is, if they're speaking out about something or saying something, whether it's encouraging, whatever, it's because they really want to play the game. So we've kind of even learned to temper ourselves with Soul Citizens when it comes to talking to the community, because everybody's opinion, can be valuable and have things to say.
And you said we were going to cycle back to Jared. Sure. Are we going to do that?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so Jared has been around, like, we call him Disco Land. That's where we started from, knowing him. Mm-hmm. He used to do the his own thing on YouTube channel using claymation style.
Stop action. Stop action.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stop acting, thank you. Mm-hmm. And so that's what that's where I first was introduced to Jared. Then he got hired on to CIG, and he's been community manager, and he had a whole bunch of titles since he started working at Cloud Imperium Games. Matter of fact, I'm not even sure what his current title is.
But let me say this: but before he got hired, he was contracted first. He was hired as a contract. He was a contractor at one point. Because when he first got started, they hired him to do certain things. And then over time, he ended up coming in and becoming hired and working for the company, which is a good pattern that you're mentioning, Fastcart. How many of these people we've seen who were part of the community and ultimately get hired to work in the company, which I think is very cool. These are people who, they have to give up certain freedoms when they go work for the company, but
they have to stop posting on their own YouTube page and
yeah. But it is nice to know that the company does look for people who are passionate. Even when they were talking about Christian, and they were saying that when Christian came to Gamescom as a volunteer. Now, maybe some of you guys don't know, whenever they have these conventions, if it's Gamescom or CitizenCon, or when they would go to PAX, when they go to those cities, quite often CIG puts out a call for volunteers. And a lot of people will say, hey, they're coming to my city, they're coming to my town, or if you're going to be going where they're going to be, you can volunteer to kind of get a behind the scenes of what's going on at those events. You do go under NDA and stuff like that, but you help with the setup, the breakdown, all that great stuff. You hustle, you do work, y'all. It's not.
Yeah, it's not a free lunch.
Yeah, and there's usually some perk, right? You get to go to the event. They'll give you some type of something as a way to say thank you. But it is.
We get to hang out backstage.
Yeah, if it's at the cons, you hang out backstage. So there are some cool perks if you're into the game, and if it's just your way of saying, hey, that weekend I've got some free time, I'd like to be able to help. Even for this CitizenCon, right? Fastcart, they did the same thing again. They opened it up for volunteers that would be able to help.
Matter of fact, I think they had too many applications. They had to turn people away. But yeah.
Well, a lot of people volunteered now because they were trying to avoid that $199 price.
That is true. That is true.
If you volunteer, you get a free ticket and you get to go. And there's some other little side perks that they do as well. But it is something that they do. But to see that people have kind of come in from a volunteer place like Chris did, a contractor place like Disco did, and ultimately become or a content creator like Jake, and ultimately start working for the company. It just shows that there is these areas of entry that you can come into working for a company like Cloud Imperium. If they had some remote jobs, I'd be putting in for something. I need to make some money. You know,
they probably do, but I don't know. We'll see. You have to see.
Yeah. I don't have any programming skills. If I could do QA from home, I'd do it. You know, I'm sure there'd be a lot of people if they could do QA from home, they would.
Right.
Okay. Well, listen, we are already this show. We are. Jesus Christ, fastcart. We're 40 minutes past where we're supposed to be. Okay. At 10 minutes to the hour, I was supposed to be taking this break, and I'm just now taking it at 8:30 my time or 9:30 Eastern time. So what we want to do is two things. First off, we want to highlight the fact, as you guys know, we are doing a piece for St. Jude Children's Hospital. You guys know about this. I'm going to show you this
As
promo.
a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all, not one bill. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders. Every dollar counts, every donation, it means the world.
It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
Finding cures, saving children. Donate now at stjude.org.
Okay, that's what you guys have helped us do. And we want to show you where we are right now with our Play Live campaign, which is culminating on CitizenCon weekend, October 22nd. You guys have just, boom, you've pushed that green line up. We started at 500, we went to 1,000, 2,000. When we hit 3,000, we said we would do a 12-hour live stream, which was last Sunday. We did the 12-hour live stream. You guys boosted us up even more. We were at $5,500. Then today we started out at $5,700. Excuse me, earlier today went to 5,020, 550, and now you guys have us at 5,920. We're $80, just $80 away from our next tier of $6,000, which we will give away a Suntucky Eye and an Aegis Comet, Saber Comet together. You get an alien
with
ship
LTI.
and a human ship with LTI. You get both of those. If we hit 6,000, we're $80 away from that right now. So we really want to encourage you to give. If you haven't given, you can give towards St. Jude Children's Hospital. This is going straight to St. Jude. There's a link there that we're going to put into the chat for you. That link goes to St. Jude's gift page. It's not going to us. It doesn't pass through us to St. Jude. It goes directly to them. Tiltify is the company that they use to accept all their donations. Don't forget that what you donate is also...
Oh, they got 30.
Okay. What you donate is also taxes. You can also put it in for your taxes and claim it. So yes, St. Jude Children's Hospital. I know we're going to hit that $6,000 before we close out for the night. We are going to take a short look at another video, and then we're going to talk about another giving opportunity that we think is kind of closer to home within our community that we want to share with you guys too. So just bear with us on that. There's going to be two things tonight. So we do want you to give toward whichever one you want to give toward. FC, let's go ahead and look at the little bit of this second one, and then we're going to probably cut it off. We're not going to get all the way through it. Excuse me, my voice. This next one that we're going to watch, guys, is who is this by? This next one is by John Griffith. And we're only going to watch part of this. Originally, we're going to try and get through the whole thing, but we're running late today, and we don't want to keep you guys over past the top of the hour too much. But this presentation talks about what the culture is and what it means to work at CIG. So we're going to watch about maybe 15 minutes of it, and I'm going to probably cut it off at the 15-minute mark, but we will put the link in for you so that you can watch this at your own leisure, because it's a really, really good show. I would encourage you to watch it when you have time to watch it. So let's go ahead and kick this off, FC, and we're going to see what we can do. Let me turn off that little St. Jude thingy there. Here we go.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Star Citizen Live. As we're over here, Star Citizen Live Game Dev One-on-One. I'm your host, Jared Huckabee, and it's been one of those days. We're here on our set, The Only Constant. We've pivoted things around a little bit, so you're seeing a section of the spaceship you don't normally see. You see our lovely helmet collection over here. On today's show, we're not going to talk so much about stuff that's coming down the pipeline, stuff that's currently in progress. We're going to talk about process, how we work, how things are made in general, and how people choose to get into this business and stay when there's so many other things they could be doing that would probably pay them more money, but we do it anyway. Joining me on this trip today is lead environment artist John Griffiths. And John, let's start off real simply by telling folks what it is that a lead environment artist does.
Okay, so it might differ from company to company, so just bear that one in mind, but generally it's your job to lead the team on what it is you're making, what it is you're creating, and it's you're mentoring artists, you're also recruiting artists, you're looking at the pipeline, things that you could do to improve it, any processes. You've also got to do a bit of, or I think you should do anyway, scheduling. How much do we have the right amount of resource to do the thing that we actually want to do? So that's why, you know, in every video I've been on, there's been a bit of Excel in there as well. Just can't get away from it. But yeah, you're the one who's holding the banner, as it were, and saying, this is what we're making. Come on, guys, let's do this. And girls, or whoever.
And how long have you been with CIG?
I've been at CIG for... What day is it? It's the 8th?
It's the 9th.
The 9th. So actually, I can't do the perfect maths, but I've been here for a year and 11 months, and it will be 12 months next month.
All right. And in the industry?
And in the industry, so I've done 4.5 years in animated film, and then the rest is games. So probably about 7 or 8. Is that, hold on. So yeah, something like that. Maybe even 9. Maybe even 9.
You're watching game devs attempt to do math.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/citizen.
Have a look at math. It's on my CV. So.
It's just counting. It's not even math. It's just counting. Now, there are different types of artists in game development. There's you're an environmental artist. There's props artists. There's character artists, stuff like this. What are the duties of an environmental artist?
So we're building the world in which you are playing. So everything if you take out our role, then you'll just be playing in blank space, white or gray, that's it. Our job is to make it so that the world you're in is as seamless as possible. And for me, if anything, we're supporting the gameplay, but it's also our job to try and help you feel like you're in this world. I think anything that potentially breaks the player out of their feeling of that place, we haven't really done our job right. So the longer we can keep you feeling like you're in, well, for us, like a sci-fi universe, or for other games, I don't know, a jungle or a lava planet or whatever, keeping the player thinking that they're in this reality, that's my job. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Now, even within the team, within the environment team, there's also different kinds of artists. There's concept artists, there's technical artists. Walk me through the kinds of artists that exist to create these assets.
So we have, or let's say in general, you'll have concept artists. So they're primarily a bit of 3D and 2D, painting pictures, let's say. They're coming up with the ideas, creating kind of inspiration for the team to then kind of run with. To follow suit with what you were saying, technical artists, they're more focused on how we make stuff with the tools we have. So less about making things pretty, more about how can we make this tool easier for more people to use. So that I'm probably really simplifying it. Sorry, any technical artists out there.
Yeah, tech artists are also the ones who take your gorgeous LOD 0 work and then smoosh it down often, and
environment artists do that a bit as well, but essentially it has to be able to run. So that's why we need the level of detail assets. And, you know, I think most times they hold up quite well from, you know, quite a far distance. But, you know, that also means that we can have more stuff loaded in as well at any one point. Yep, so character artists, well, I mean, this is just in the art team in general, names on the tin, I suppose, so they make characters. Prop artists, again, props. So I'd say, you know, maybe this chair would be a prop, whereas the studio would be an environment.
I think where I want to go with this, though, is there's when I say different types of artists, I mean there's hard surface modelers, there's folks who focus on organics. Like even just within the environment team, there are different types of artists who specialize in different types of assets, because an environment is everything from, like I said, the desert and a forest full of trees to an underground facility and whatnot, and the aptitudes for both of those are different. You know, so someone who excels at making foliage, excels at making sci-fi plants that look like they're from another world, might not have the same aptitudes to make underground bunkers that look like they're pristine and sterile and stuff like this. So talk to me about the different types of artists, like I said, between like the hard surface stuff, the organic stuff.
So with the hard surface, so a lot of I would say our environment artists are hard surface artists, and they are creating, things like this studio, for example, walls, floors, anything that the player is kind of walking on or at least can see. That's what they're doing. With organics, yes, it's more, they're concerned about nature, so trees, plants, mining things, rocks, whatever. But it's also the job of, I suppose, artists on my team in particular to marry the organic and the hard surface together. So just because you're focusing on, you're a hard surface artist, you're focusing on hard surface, you've got to think about how all these elements come together, because if it's just kind of natural rock and then metal, that's going to look a bit weird. Whereas if we think about how it blends in, is there a structure in place, is there a bit of a transition for it, then that's going to be better, and that's keeping more in with that, what I was saying before about keeping people in the world that you're building.
Within hard surface artists, are there divisions even within that?
So in our company we do have, so we have several different levels of artist from, so we have artists 1, 2 and 3, and then senior 1 and 2. Then you've got leads and principals, and then it's on into assistant art direction, senior art direction, all that jazz. So when you're starting out in the industry, you're likely to be going into like an entry-level role. So for us, that's artist 1. And, after that, it's up to you in a way. It's kind of how much do you want to put in, how much do you want to do it, and how you execute things as well. And then we're here as well, people who leads and seniors are there to help the lower levels out, because ultimately we want them to grow as well, so everyone moves up the chain together.
So if you're just joining us now, we're hanging out with lead environment artist John Griffiths. We're talking about a process this week, how things work, the very nature of making games as opposed to any specific features that's coming out on the roadmap and stuff. You can check out Inside Star Citizen and stuff for that. You said there were 7 levels. Now, even within that, artist 1, 2, and 3, they're variations of each other. Then there's seniors, then there's lead, then there's stuff. So I'd like to talk to those 4 breakdowns.
All right, I'm going to stop right there, FC, because I just wanted to kind of show this, so they could show how there's all these increments of movement within the job structure there. So just with these environmental artists, he said there's lead 1, then 2, then 3, then that's regular 1, 2, and 3, artist 1, 2, and 3. Then there's lead 1 and lead 2, and then there's senior leads, and then there's principals. So, you know, coming into the company, I guess there's like these 7 layers that you could work your way up to. And CIG is a really big company. I mean, whether what like 1,100,
well, now, yeah,
1,100 employees now, right? Something like that. But I think they picked up like 300 folks from when they did the merge with Turbulent, and they were like at 800 then. So they've got a pretty decent size, but they've still got positions open. We just looked at that earlier when we started the show on the website, right? Ewok, thank you so much for that follow. We appreciate that.
Thank you for the follow.
Guys, we're still at $59.50. We need $50 to hit that 6,000 before we close out the show tonight for St. Jude Children's Hospital. But I thought this was interesting as far as him just showing the breakdown of that. You got any thoughts on what was being shared here with Mr. Griffiths?
Not too much. It was an interesting episode, but yeah, I don't have much to say. We learned about what his duties were and how he does them. I thought it was a great episode.
Yeah, it's good stuff. You guys, make sure you check out the link. We'll put the link back in there for you again. If you really want to get some insight to how the structure works for the developers at CIG, this is a great episode to kind of get your feet wet with it. I could barely get that out, fastcart. So yeah, that is John Griffiths. Okay. We're going to change gears a little bit here. We're going to kind of change the last few minutes of the show. This is kind of a last minute thing. But I wanted to share this with the community. I was on one of the platforms today. I think I was on Twitter. Is it Twitter or X, fastcart? I don't know what to call it these days.
I just say Twitter. I'm not going to call it the other way.
Yeah, X. I can't even get around that shit.
I just call it Twitter.
Yeah. I was on there today, and we have a good friend of the community by the name of Grokkeys. Grokkeys has been around for a long time, and this message is really going out to you old school folks. You new people, you're not exempt from this, but I'm really directing this toward folks who've been around in the community for a while. Some of you who've been here for a while will remember Grokkeys. He's a streamer, he's a content creator, and sometimes you'll see him streaming on Twitch every once in a while now. But Grokkeys was very, very active in the community in the very early days of this whole project with Star Citizen. One of the things that some of you may know him from is that Grokkeys was a voice actor, and he does a lot. He's kind of like the what was the guy who used to work for Warner Brothers, fastcart, who did all the voices? He did Bugs Bunny and everybody.
Oh, Mel Blanc.
Mel Blanc, yeah. He's kind of like a Mel Blanc. He can kind of do like a Yosemite Sam voice. I mean, he does like all types of character voices, not just like voiceover stuff, but he does more character voices. And thank you, Prisoner. Yeah, Mel Blanc and Zombie Pig. And so Grokkeys was in one of the very first, I would say, I don't want to say first, but there were some people who did some really good machinima in the early days of the Star Citizen project. This is back when we were in CryEngine. And these folks were, I don't know how the labor they put in to make this stuff real, but they made a lot of stuff that even wasn't in the game yet. And in fact, the person who put together the machinima that we're going to look at right now was FiendishFeather. FiendishFeather ended up getting hired by CIG. By the way, let me give a shout out to Wicked Wookie, who's in the chat. Yeah. Wicked Wookie, congratulations on that. CIG offered you a position. That's amazing. I see why you weren't able to take it, and I understand too. That is a serious move to go work at CIG. But it's also great that they recognize your work just like the community does, and you did a really, really good job. So, congratulations on that. But FiendishFeather ended up working, but Grokkeys was one of the people who did voices on FiendishFeather's Machinima series. He was in there. Meyer was in there. Paul Shelley was one of the writers on this. There was a good group of core people that produced about 7 episodes of a series called Bulkheads. So what we want to do is show you guys episode 1 of Bulkheads so you'll know who Grokkeys is. You can appreciate his talent. And then we're going to talk a little bit after that about why we're highlighting him right now. So let's take a quick look at this video of Bulkheads. Grokkeys plays the character, I forget what the character's name, the guy with the blue on. It's the guy with the blue. Okay. There's a guy in red and guy in the blue. And the guy in the blue is Grokkeys. Okay, so he's the for lack of a better term, he's the dumber guy in this group. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look at it real quick. Hey, Wikipedia, didn't know you were here. Yes, Wikipedia worked on this. Yes. Good to see you, Wikipedia.
Hey, Wikipedia.
Intruders detected. C deck, corridor 5. Bulkhead breach in progress. Good luck.
Okay, this is it, Brock. Are you ready?
Hell yeah.
He plays
But,
Brock.
What if they come through another door?
You're joking, right?
Well, I mean, what if they just want us to think that they're gonna break through this door, but they go use another one instead?
Brock, Command just told us they were coming through this door.
Yeah, well, what if they're wrong? Or lying?
Are you serious? Yeah, you are. Okay, Brock, why? Why would Command lie to us?
I don't know. Maybe they're working with the pirates.
But there are Command.
That's what they'd want you to think if they were pirates.
Okay, Brock, listen to me. And listen to me real good. Command are not pirates. They're not against us, and they did not intentionally lose your laundry last Thursday. They definitely didn't try to assassinate you by planting a chicken bone in your soup last night. Now please, we're about to be attacked. If we could just concentrate on that door there for just like 1 single minute.
Okay, but it goes past that, doesn't it, King? Think about it and add everything together. First, there's the crew. Look at us! The cooks poisoned us half to death with salmonella the other day. And then remember when someone accidentally turned off the barriers on the flight deck and Jake and Trevor got blown into space? It's madness. Madness, I say!
Brock, just listen to yourself. I mean, it's like you're saying that the guy that put itching powder in your underwear is out to get you. It's just a prank. These are all coincidences. Maybe just a bit of bad luck or something.
But, I mean, what about that time that shipment of avocados fell over on Jerry? Faulty storage equipment, my ass. Or what about when those stock rifles backfired and blew up in the faces of those two grunts? Second-rate ammunition? Starting to see a pattern here.
Okay, fine, Brock, even if you have a point, we're gonna get blasted if they come through that door and we're not ready.
With the portal. Tight pattern. Keep low and stick to the walls. Roger. Roger! Stop saying my name! Shut up, Roger.
Attention. Simulation terminated. Pirates win. Again. I repeat.
Oh,
simulation
look at the little babies taking a nap. Brock, I should have you spaced out the airlock for this.
Yeah, if Command doesn't do it first.
Bulkheads! Are you two sleeping on the job again? You two had shields, and you didn't even manage to get one single shot off at the enemy? What are you gonna do in a pirate or a Vandal attack? No, wait, I know what you're gonna do. You'll die because you're useless. That there now, that's what we call a nice hole.
Good joke, mate. Really though. What's our target?
Did I sound like I was joking?
You thick, mate. It's a bloody Bengal. A UEE-controlled Bengal at that. I signed on this crew to make money. Not go on a suicide mission.
Alright, you're new, so I'm gonna forget you said any of that. Listen, kid, that there is the Imperium. Worst crew in the entire UEE. We could attack that whale in an Aurora with one rocket, no guns, and an on-fire power plant, and we'd probably come out on top. Trust me, they're harmless. Enough chatter, gentlemen. It's time to man the turrets, arm the torpedoes, warm up the shields, stoke the fire, and put on the kettle. We've got some Marines to kill, and we better get it done before the tea gets cold.
Okay. That is fastcart. How did this goes back a ways, right?
Yeah, I mean, they had to make all those assets, not from scratch, but, you know, some of them, they did have to make from scratch, but wow.
Yeah, and Wikipedia is
That's a lot of
here.
work.
Wikipedia said I didn't know Wikipedia was here, otherwise I would have acknowledged them. Wikipedia worked on this project as well. There were a lot of people who came together to make this happen. It was very, very cool. Now, why am I sharing this? I'm sharing this with you because, as I was mentioning earlier, I was on social media earlier today, and I saw a post by Grokkeys. And basically Grokkeys has put out a GoFundMe page because Grokkeys suffers from an aspect of his mental health issue. And I'm going to show you the page. You guys can visit the page. We're going to put the link in for you so that you guys can check it out. It's really kind of, I felt bad, because he's gotten to a situation that was not under his fault. Somebody did something to him that harmed him, and he was in need for needing some money for his Social Security deposit for where he lives. Now, let me put down some things here first. First of all, we reached our mark for $6,000 for St. Jude Children's Hospital. You guys, thank you. We're going to do the giveaway for that. Thank you for that so much. I want to say that first off. And I know this is a double hit, but I'm mentioning this because earlier today I did post it on our social media. I posted it with Test Squadron to people in the community who know Grokkeys. Now, when I did this earlier today, he was only at halfway where he needed to be. He needed $1,200. He was around $660. Since around 12 noon today, I guess this blasted went out, and maybe what he put out went out to people, and people have responded. He's at $1,290. So he has reached his goal of $1,200. Now, I'm only saying this again because he's a part of our community. We've known him for a long time. If you feel that you would like to give toward him, I would still encourage you to do that because he did have some damage that was done to his property. Also, to take some pressure off of him because of what he's been going through, I want you to look at the video that is in that link. You'll see that he's very sincere. Difficult time to be asking for help, but we want to send him something just a little special, a little extra, so that he can take some of the financial burden off, because basically he had enough for his rent, but not enough to put down an additional security deposit. That's what they wanted from him. And so I want him to be in a little bit more comfortable space. If you can give toward Grokkeys, take a look at the page, take a read, take a look at the video. It's going to go straight to him through GoFundMe, but I'm sure he would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And when we see people in our community who've gone through things, whether it's the fact that they've had a fire in their home or something has happened to them, if we can, we try to extend to the community and let them know that these people need help. And our community has always been extremely, extremely helpful in giving to people. So we just want to throw that out there for you guys to do that. If you guys want to help Grokkeys, take a look at that link. You saw his work there, very professional. Keep him in your thoughts. Because he's going through some things, but he is getting better. He's doing better, but this would definitely be a setback for him because he needs to live someplace where he feels safe and comfortable, and losing that would just be something that would just take him steps backward from all of the progress that he's made with the mental health things that he's dealing with. So that's what I want to say about that. You met Grokkeys, right, Fastcart? Because he was in 2016 in LA.
Yeah. I met him.
Yep.
Cool,
very, very
cool
sweet
person.
guy. Very, very sweet guy. He's in character when you talk to him. He loves having fun with his characters and stuff. But like I said, we're just going to put that out there for you guys. I'm showing my show stuff. You guys can take a look at that. And definitely, if you want to support him, please do. And Fastcart, we got the link in there, right? Yes, we do. Okay.
Yep, we do.
Awesome sauce. Okay. That's the name of that tune on that one. Let's get ready to wrap things up and do this giveaway. Fastcart, if you wouldn't mind, because I need a couple seconds to pull the giveaway together. I'm going to do the wrap. You could talk about that while I'm getting the giveaway stuff together. Is that okay?
Okay, so yes, on Thursday, we have Soul Talk at 9 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UTC. That's where we talk about what's going on in Star Citizen that week. But the great thing is, the community, yes, you get to come in Discord and talk with me about what's going on that week. Typically, we cover ISC and Star Citizen Live, but we also cover stuff from the Comms Link and the Dev Tracker. So it's always a fun show. We're always looking for new people to talk with. So if you're interested in coming in and talking with us on Discord, come in on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UTC for Soul Talk. You want me to do Soul Voices too?
You're doing all of it because I'm typing.
Okay. All right. So Soul Voices at Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC. That's where you get to talk one-on-one as opposed to having a more roundtable discussion with Griffin Gaming RPG. Over here to my, to my right, I guess. But yes, Soul Voices 3 p.m. That's part of PodSat, or as you expanded to say, Podcast Saturday, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern with Soul Voices. Then go to the After Party with Captain Table 6 p.m. And then finally with Relay Station with Relay SC at 9 p.m. Eastern and 1 a.m. UTC. And that's on Saturday. And then following that, next week, it'll be I guess it'll be, you could say it'll be our last episode before CitizenCon. We're doing a systems tour, another episode of System Tour with Crusader. So that'll be 8 p.m. Eastern. You got the wrong date on there, but okay. 8 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, yeah, we
midnight
changed
UTC.
it. Yeah, we changed that date. Yeah, let people know what it's going to be next week, right? That's the one
Yeah, next week. So next Sunday. The date on that is incorrect. But yeah, next Sunday. So that's it.
All right, fair enough. Okay, thank you, Fastcart. I really appreciate that. Okay, I think I got this in pretty close to being right. You all don't be talking about me because I spelled Suntucky weird, okay? But I was under. I'm under duress here, trying to pull this thing together very quickly. Okay, but we've just started the giveaway. Let's see, is it popping up on the screen yet? Not yet.
It is. And if you're part of Soul Citizen, do not enter. Just letting you know.
Let's see. You said it is popping up on the screen? Because I can't see it. Nobody's logged in yet. Oh, there we go.
Okay. One of them. Yeah, one just there.
There we go. All right. Awesome sauce. Okay. So you guys definitely check in on that, please. Exclamation point ticket, I think it is, if you want to get in this.
Yeah, exclamation point ticket.
Yep, for the Suntucky and the Saber Comet giveaway. We have
with LTI.
With LTI. We have we've shared this last week. We have a generous angel donor who has been just throwing things in along with what we've thrown in to give away to you guys. And they have a heart for St. Jude Children's Hospital, just like you guys do. And so he wants to share the love with you guys, with the community. And so we want to say, yeah, check it out. Okay. We did get
an anonymous donation for $1. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome.
We're not, whatever people can give, we appreciate it. So
yes,
thank
sir. Every little bit helps. We are happy with everything that we get. $6,001. You guys are great. We're going to make our way to that $7,000. What are we giving away at $7,000, Fastcart?
The Banny Merchantman, not my Banny Merchantman, a Banny Merchantman.
We're giving away Fastcart's Banu Merchantman at $7,000.
No, stop! Don't do that.
We're giving away his Banu Merchantman at $7,000.
The views and opinion of GriffinGamingRPG do not reflect their.
Yeah, I know. Okay, but yeah, we are gonna give away a Banu Merchantman if we get to $7,000. So we've got 2 weeks still. So there's still time. There is still time. Let's see where we are with the Grockies. You guys have put Grockies' donations at $1,372. That's an extra $172 to help him out. Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys are awesome. Awesome. We have the best community over here with Soul Citizens. Thank you guys so much for that. He's going to be totally surprised that this number's doubled just within today. I'd be surprised. I know that. Okay, we are almost there. We're getting ready to close this out, gang. It's 9:03. Make sure you get in their exclamation point ticket. This is going to be the last call. I'm going to give you guys about 10-15 seconds to get that in if you want to be a part of this. 2 ships, LTI, Suntucky and the Saber Comet. All righty. Let me get my thing.
Yeah, you only need to enter once, but you want to make sure that you enter. Yeah, no problem. But it'll give you that thing that you too many tickets. But yeah, you only need to enter one.
Yep. All right. And if you're a subscriber, you get twice the odds of winning too. So for those of you who are subscribers, if you guys jumped in, you double your chances to getting to winning. Okay. All right. Well, we are there. I am giving you your 10 seconds. Actually, I gave you more than that. We're getting ready to
No colossal. I saw that. No colossal.
We're going to close it out right now. And let me close the giveaway. And all right, Fastcart, it's on you. Why don't you give us the countdown and we'll punch it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Boom. Oh, Vengeful.
1997.
Vengeful.
Congratulations. 2.70 cents.
Congratulations, Vengeful. Thank you for being here. Now you got to give us a shout out. I know you were here earlier. Is he here still?
Yeah, there he is. There he is. Sweet.
There he is. Awesome. That is awesome.
So you want to do the Gmail thing, or you want to?
Yes, Vengeful. You need to send us your RSI email. Send it to Soul Citizens with an S at the end. soulcitizens@gmail.com. My voice is going. At gmail.com. And we
just hold almost over.
Yeah, I know. We will get that out to you as soon as possible. But we do appreciate you being here. And like Fastcart says, congratulations. Again, let me reiterate, don't forget Soul Talk on Thursday nights with Fastcart. We're going to be winding down. Oh, we're going to talk about the convention real quick. Convention weekend, October 21st and 22nd. There are about 12 or 13 of the Soul Citizens team. About 7 of us are going to be gone. We're going to be in Los Angeles. And then there will be some Soul Citizens members who will be in our Discord during CitizenCon when they're showing all the presentations. I don't know what the hours are. I don't know who's going to be here, but somebody's going to be hanging out. Yeah, last year people were hanging out with us all throughout the thing. So there will be some people who will be hanging out here. So if you guys want to come and hang out with us that day, if you see that our Discord has folks in it, feel free to drop in and hang out. Now, the thing that we are going to try to do while we're there, we do have a booth at the event. We will try to, on occasion, if we can, it depends on how the Wi-Fi is there because they're not providing it. So if the Wi-Fi is decent enough that we can pick it up in the building, we may do some streaming from our booth area, interviewing people and talking to folks. If not, if we don't do that, we're going to do one of two things. We are going to try to stream live our post-show initial reactions. It'll probably be like for maybe 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, where I think who's going to be going? Yo-Yo Meg is going, BBG is going, Fastcart is going, Geo is going, Updi is going, I'm going, and I'm forgetting somebody. Oh, Nomad is going. So we're so we're all going to try to get together. It'll probably be maybe at our hotel. Gomab is going. Oh, he's going. Okay, Gomab is going. Okay,
he changed his mind. All right.
I didn't know. I know he got a ticket and he wasn't sure. Okay, so Gomab's going to be there. So there'll be 8 of us there.
No, we didn't know, man. You didn't tell us.
Dude, you told us you might go, and that was the last conversation I heard. And I saw you. Wait, I did see you put the thing in there about a shirt the other day, and I meant to ask you, are you going? So I did see that. Okay, so I'll grant you that much. Oh, Nomad's not going. Okay, Nomad's not going.
Nomad is not going.
All right, so there we're back to 7 now. Okay, so we're going to give you our initial reactions on Saturday night, and then we're going to probably do it again on Sunday night, and that's going to be around 6 or 7 o'clock their time. So this is what we may do. I'm not sure if we're going to do it live. It depends on how the Wi-Fi is. If the Wi-Fi is good, we'll do it live. If it's not, we're going to record it, and then I'm going to upload it to YouTube, okay? But there'll be a post there letting you know what we're going to do. So just want to kind of give you guys a little bit of a heads up on what we're thinking about doing for that on CitizenCon weekend. Let's see. Somebody's dropping me messages here. Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
No, that was just me.
That was you dropping Gomab in. Okay, I got you. Okay, so that's going to be CitizenCon weekend as we close to that. Don't forget to tell people about St. Jude Children's Hospital. Once again, thank you for the donations that you guys gave for Grok Keys, especially if you did it.
Thank you for the other $1. Another $1.
And another $1. Yes, thank you. You're keeping adding to St. Jude. Every little bit helps, guys. Whatever you can give, we really appreciate it. Once again, congratulations, Wicked Wookie. We really enjoy your work. We hope you continue to grow and develop and create even bigger things. And maybe one day, you might make that CIG trip after all. Who knows? But again, thank you for being here because we always appreciate showing your work as well. FC, you got anything else before we close out?
No, I got to find someone to raid.
I've already got somebody. No. We're going to do Subliminal.
Oh, you got somebody?
Yes, sir. We're going to do Subliminal. We guys are going to go check out Subliminal TV tonight. You guys know Subliminal. He's got great information. He's very in-depth in evaluating all the ships in Star Citizen. When you get over there, let them know that you came over from the Soul Citizens. And thank you guys for being here tonight. Thanks again, Expat. Let me finish before I forget. Expat Brat, thank you for the raid that you gave us tonight. And those of you who came over from Expat Brat, we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Now you can go ahead and go.
Sorry about that. So thank you for all the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. Thank you for the birthday wishes.
His birthday ain't came yet, y'all. Y'all wait till 2 weeks from now. Give him his birthday. Now, your birthday was when? When is your birthday? Yesterday? Today?
October 8th. Today.
It's today. I got something set up for you. Oh my God! Why did I keep thinking it was next week? It was Monday. Oh, I got my days.
Everybody always think it's CitizenCon weekend.
Oh my God, that's what threw me off. But I put something together. Oh my God. Okay, y'all, we gonna have to. Okay, we'll save it for CitizenCon because that's when Fastcart usually does celebrate his birthday. So happy birthday, FC. I don't know how I forgot about the 8th. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you guys for
I'm not
reminding
going on,
me.
no problem.
I've been working on this thing for him. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, your present, your present isn't arriving until later. I'm sorry, it's not here. So you're gonna have to wait for your present. Because I tried to put in to make sure it gets here, so it ain't here yet. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. Happy birthday to Fastcart, everybody. And thank you guys once again for all that you've done. We're going to go to Subliminal. Here we go. As always, stay safe. Peace, love, and soul. Bye. It just popped out that quick.
Oh, Soul Citizen, what's up, guys? I don't know what type of stream you thought you were rating, but we have gone down a tangent.